All right, everybody. Welcome to Just Upright. Thank you so much for watching. Today is very, very special because I have a special guest with me. His name is Mr. David Bayliff, and he will introduce himself to you. He's an awesome guy. We have a common friend, Mike Chua, who is the administrator and the spearhead of Alternative Career Group in Facebook. Mr. David, I've been seeing his posts. I've been in contact with him before. He has this awesome business. Here in Just Upright, our mission is to educate, to inspire, and to empower. So this is part of the educate and inspire part, so that when you come here to the US as a foreign educated physical therapist and you're working, you know that you have options and you know that you can grow, okay, aside from being a clinician, that there are so many options for you here. So welcome, Mr. David.
Hello, Jean. Thank you so much for having me on your show. And I just want to just take a moment and just acknowledge the great work that you're doing to help people, to help change their lives and to show them the opportunities that are available out there, especially from your homeland, the Philippines, showing them what they can do. That extremely admirable. And we need more people like you. Before we came on the air, you were sharing about being a Christian. We just need more Christians like you that are doing this great work out there to really make a difference positively in people's lives. So I just commend you on that, and thank you so much for the opportunity that you've extended to me to come on and share with your audience. But as you mentioned, I'm David Bayliff. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. And I've been associated in the physical therapy world for almost 40 years, over 35 years. Now, not as a therapist that long, but I've been in therapy for a solid 35 years. Let me see, actually, I got my first volunteer job in 1987.
Wow.
So I haven't done the math yet. I'm not very good at math. I can't do math that fast in my head, but that's a long time. That's when I got my first job as an aide or a tech in physical therapy. So I've been around the profession a long time. I've been a practicing physical therapist for for 28 years. I've had my own mobile practice for the past 9 years. But Jean, as you know, and I think big reason why you have me speaking to your audience today is for the past 3 years, I've transitioned to being a coach. I have a couple of business partners, Josh Payne, Kevin DeGroat, but a couple of business partners. We have the Uncaged Clinician, where we help people to escape corporate healthcare who might be burnout, might be frustrated, might have realized, like, wait, this isn't what I got into. This isn't creating the life that I wanted. This isn't really creating the American dream for me, other than the fact that I've got a job. But there has to be more. So we're helping those people to break out of the traditional mold, if you will, and be able to build the profession of their dreams that supports the lifestyle that they want. So that's what I focus on now. I still do a little bit of therapy on the side. And if you have any questions about like the mobile therapy, I can certainly talk about that. But the people that we help, a lot of them are mobile. A lot of them have a brick and mortar space. A lot of them are cash. A lot of them take insurance. Doesn't matter. What matters is that, for your viewers, when they come to the States, wherever they end up, it's about becoming a successful business person.
Gotcha.
No matter what type of environment that you're in, whether you're in a clinic, whether you're mobile, whether you take insurance, whether you're cash, there are principles. And even if you're an employee, you can still learn principles to be a solid employee, to make your experience better and to help make the clinic better. That's what we help people with.
Awesome. So, guys, for those who are watching or are not familiar with mobile physical therapy or practice, It means that you don't have a clinic, per se, but you go to patient's house or you meet them in the office. So it's, you are going places to places. The brick and mortal is that you have a clinic that you see patient, like an outpatient facility that you own. So this is just opening up your mind, guys, that here in the US, because before, I don't know if you know this, I posted it on my social media, Mr. David, but it took me 9 long years to come here to the US and a major clinical depression, so that's why I do what I do, because I don't want my fellow foreign educated physical therapists to go through what I went through, if at all possible. But I didn't know this. I didn't know that there is an option aside from being a clinician. So in my mind, at least I'm speaking for myself, is that the ultimate goal is to go to the US and work as a physical therapist. That's the ultimate goal for a foreign educated physical therapist like me way back then. But now is, the tide is rising for physical therapists and other rehabilitation therapists or clinician to own their practice. It's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to have a business and take on the challenges, but that is an option for you guys. So I'm not saying that when you come here to the US, jump into this business right away. That our experience with our employers, that will be a good training for you to be a better clinician when you want to be on your own. So honor the contract that you have with your employer. And when you become an immigrant or a US citizen, then you can do whatever you want. And so Mr. David, I call him Captain. I think your students call you Captain, right? Yeah,
Some still, yeah, they do. Yep.
Yeah. So he's one of your resources, guys, here in the US. So whenever you feel like, oh, maybe this is for me and I want to excel more, I want to have more freedom with my time, I want to have more financial stability in my own terms, and so he can help you navigate through the business aspect of it, because I own a small business and I'm learning, and of course we are not trained to be a business person in a physical therapy world. So this is very foreign to us, and people are saying, Mr. David, and even me, this is my mentality: why would I pay someone thousands of dollars to guide me through this? Why can't I just learn it on my own? So I will let you answer that question.
That's a great question. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I had a sales call with someone who was interested in our program, and she wanted to have a follow-up call and have her husband on. And she said, "I can promise you the first question he's going to ask: why can't I just Google this and find out how to grow the business? Why can't I just look on YouTube and find out how to grow a business?" And which is a very fair question. And you can find anything on the internet these days. But here's a couple points I want to make with that. And thank you so much for asking, Gene. Is that you can look things up. However, in looking things up, they give you the tactics of what to do. They don't give you the problem-solving skills. And if something isn't working for you, you can't go back to that video and say, well, hey, video, this isn't working. What am I doing wrong? You can't identify that. All right. And so that's why in whatever you do, when you start out in your career, whether, and like what Gene said, is that, start off with a job, with an employer, and learn. But in that job, find out ways to become successful. Find out ways that you can become a better therapist, a better business person, or whatever. And like what Gene said, is that you're absolutely right, Gene. Being a business owner isn't for everyone, okay? But can you be looking for the right situations where, hey, you know what? I don't want to own my own business, but I'm in a position where I actually have a little bit of autonomy. I have a little bit of freedom. I have a little bit of control here. Life for me is better. I don't have to worry about all the stress of owning something, but it's a better environment for me. So those are just things to look out for. But again, back to why can't I just look it up, and why should I have someone to mentor me? Again, even if you're a staff clinician, look for a mentor to help you to grow. Even if you're a staff clinician, look for that mentor. If you're growing a business, again, you can look things up, but they can't. They can tell you the tactics, but they don't necessarily explain the principles, and they don't help you to problem solve. All right, it's kind of like to say that, like, hey, for this particular type of injury, this is the one treatment that you do. But we forget that, everybody are individuals. Shoulder pain, for example, you can have 10 people with shoulder pain, but the reason for their shoulder pain could be 10 different reasons. So that one treatment might not work for everybody. It might work for a majority of them, but it may not work for everybody. So you have to understand that and why something maybe isn't working for you. You need a mentor to help you to figure that out.
Right.
I've used the example of looking something up on the internet to find out a tactic, but not understanding the principle. It would be like for example, if we're back in the Philippines, and you know what, we need to put food on the table, so we're going to go fish. And let's say that you've never fished before, okay? And so you go out in the ocean or wherever you go, and you take your hook and maybe a little piece of bread, and you throw it out there. And well, you might catch something, but you may not. All right, because if you're going out in the ocean, you might need for your bait to go deeper in. Mm-hmm. And if you go out, say, in the middle of the day, but the fish are really biting in the early morning or in the late evenings, all right, you don't realize that. And if you're in your boat and maybe you like to listen to music and you like to crank it up and you got that music playing loud and that music is maybe scaring off the fish, okay? Well, see, there's where you did the tactic that you were told, go fish. But you didn't understand what you needed to do to actually fish.
Right.
So that's where finding that mentor who can help you to figure out what are you doing wrong, or what do you need to do so that it works for you.
Right.
And again, I encourage anybody, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're growing your own practice or whether you're coming out of school and you want to work for someone and get some experience, fabulous. Whatever you do, can you find a mentor to help you to grow?
Right.
Because along your journey, it should all be about growth.
Right.
So can you have someone help you grow?
Yeah. So yeah, that's the same principle that I go by, because I have like courses, and it's paid courses online, and some people will ask, why would I pay you? So I say, well, I have free resources on YouTube, but you have to figure it out which video to watch first, second, and third. But with my course, if you want to fast forward your application and learning it in 3.5 hours instead of years, weeks, and months, then it's available for you, but it's not for everyone. So right. I think with my mind, I paid coaches. I didn't before. I was in that other side. Why would I spend my money? But if you want to not commit the mistakes, the mistakes that you can actually be prevented if you ask someone with wisdom who already did this, done that, and fast forward your progress instead of learning it the hard way, trial and error. So that's why I think it's very important to invest in yourself and by paying someone to guide you through the process. Okay, sure. So that is a very good point. I like the fishing analogy. So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, if someone is watching, of course, I will not sugarcoat it. Owning a business is not easy. That's why I said it's not for everybody. There are so many challenges that you will face, and sometimes, in the process, you might want to give up. But for you, Captain, what is the greatest challenge as a business owner that you have faced, and how you overcame that challenge?
Yeah, great question. And It seems like there are a lot of things, but if we had to think about what is the greatest challenge, number one, it would be more of a couple of things. Number one, it's recognizing that, like, in having a team around you, it's how do you lead that team, and how do you lead the team and inspire the team, but also get the team to each person to operate in their giftedness in order to help the overall mission. And it's being able to have the humility to not have it be all about you, but it's about them. If it's a team, it's about them. If you're growing a business, it's not about you, it's about your customers. And recognizing that it's not your responsibility to do everything. It's not your responsibility to be the thinker and the creator and the inventor. It's not your responsibility to also be the person that figures out how to get the thing done. And it's not your responsibility to also be the person that makes sure that it gets done. And it's not your responsibility to also make sure that you're galvanizing everybody else and encouraging everybody else. Now, you might do elements of that, but it's recognizing what are your gifts and your strengths. Who else on your team has maybe a different strength that helps to supplement the thing getting done, and including everybody in that so that everybody on the team feels an element of ownership and responsibility and buy-in and supporting the mission. That's number one. Number two, as far as being a business owner and attracting the clientele and working with our clientele, I'd say more so of the attracting is one of the biggest challenges. Really, is helping people to be frank, to get out of their own way. All right, to get out of their own way. Number one, what goes along with that is that when people who do say, I want to start my own business, because of how we've been trained through the system, recognizing that we can't take that train of thought and that mentality, the mentality of being an employee and building an empire, if we have the mentality of I'm just a therapist. Okay, nothing wrong with being a physical therapist, but if because of, again, Gene, you went through school, I went through school. Your viewers, your listeners, they're probably going through school or have been through school. And again, I haven't been in the Philippines, but I know here in the States that a lot of the education is about learning to become a therapist. In other words, learning to be an implementer or an assembly line worker. And that the way to get ahead is learn more skills so that you can get people better faster, so that you can have more people in your schedule, so that you can see more people, so you can charge, more to insurance companies or more people to insurance companies. And that's how you're going to make more money. And oh, by the way, this is how we do things here because this is how it's always been done. And being able to help someone to, one, can they break free of that thinking and realize there's a whole world out there. There are other ways to do it. All right, number one. And then number two, honestly, the biggest thing, and you touched on this, Gene, of you were afraid to invest in yourself, and then you finally did it. So many people, that's the biggest hang up is taking the leap of faith, number one, to invest in themselves, but to actually believe that they can do it. That's probably the biggest challenge there and that's something that, like, when I work with people, with our students, that's one of the areas that I love helping people with, is helping them to understand that you are good enough and you can do this. But to recognize that, and to recognize the importance of like, hey, if you want the world, you can't, it's not going to just be handed to you on a silver platter. All right. Like what you said, Jing, is you wanted to be a therapist. So again, I don't know the cost of going through therapy school in the Philippines is, but here in the States, it could be a lot of money. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, why didn't you just YouTube it? All right. Well, you paid a lot of money to become an implementer. But so many people want to become the boss for free. And they want to just piecemeal it together. Let me get a little bit of grasp over here for free. Let me get a little bit over here for free. All right. And honestly, Gene, like no one's life has been significantly altered by free. And when you invest, you're gonna have more ownership in it, and you're gonna go farther because you're gonna be held accountable. Mm-hmm. So it's getting people to understand the value of investing, and a lot of therapists just aren't used to investing. It's not a criticism so much; it's just that they're not used to investing, other than I paid to get my degree.
Right.
And seeing that things as an investment into the future rather than, oh, this is money right now. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but the money right now is going to get you to the dreams that you want. Right. Helping people to see that,
right,
and to believe in themselves. And that sounds so simple, but I see I've over the past really 4 or 5 years, I've talked to so many people, Gene, and the biggest thing is so many people just don't believe in themselves.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah. So that is good. Great point, actually. So as I have like a business coach also, there's so many unlearning that you have to do because we've become, we are employees for the longest time. And if you want to become a boss, so you had a great point, you want to become a boss, but you don't want to pay for it. You become an employee and you paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. So it doesn't make sense if you want to ascend, but you're not investing in yourself. So, I came from the Philippines, and if it is free, great. A lot of people like free stuff, but just like you said, I like that point. No one, successful people became successful because they got things for free. A lot of successful people that I'm learning right now, they really invested in themselves. They really paid someone to teach them or spend a lot of time, with a mentor, just learning from them. So in our, day and age right now, if you really want to fast forward your learning, whether it be a clinician, a business, there are great mentors out there. So that's why I'm bringing this kind of Just Upright Inspire segment to you guys so that you would know your options and your resources. So one of them is the captain. Okay, so with this, what you're doing right now as a business owner, so as a, entrepreneur, and we know that there are so many challenges day in and day out. Dealing with people is a challenge on its own.
It can be a challenge, yes.
So, but what is the greatest reward for you being a business owner? What are the greatest rewards that you are experiencing right now? Because, I have heard that before, and I do agree. Once you become a business owner, you're not coming back to being an employee anymore. Okay? It's because you have tasted this purpose and mission. So what is it for you?
Very true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I tell people that they'll, when they finally go out on their own, that probably the first day they're going to tell themselves, I've just become unemployable. I know I said that to myself. And honestly, that is rewarding, is to tell yourself I'm become unemployable. Knowing that, what, I have control, as a business owner, I have control over what my day looks like, what my tomorrow looks like, what my future looks like. And you can't put a price tag on that. And that's so rewarding. There are a lot of facets to answering this question. So I hope that we have a couple minutes for me to address that. But number one is that I have control. I can actually create a profession that serves me. Instead of me serving a job, I can create something that serves me. And in doing so, what that allows me to do is that allows me to serve other people selflessly. And, I know you get this, Gene, being a Christian, is that it's all about really helping other people, serving other people, loving other people. That's why we're here, to love other people. And when I have something that allows me to operate in my giftedness and to do that for others, man, I can't ask for a much better reward than that.
Right.
That's on the personal side.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess all of like the greatest reward is probably personal, but as far as from the business, it's being able to have something that allows me to live into my personal legacy and to do what I feel like God's put me on this earth to do. And it's not just to help people, but it's also to spread that love, to encourage other people. And that kind of feeds into another thing of what I get most out of being a business owner is that what I mentioned earlier about helping people to look at things differently, helping them to see the possibilities. When I can see the light bulb go off over their head, or when I have a student send me a text and they're excited because they just got their first client, or because something good happened, or whatever it may be of their business, but that there was a positive change and they're excited. That's what's rewarding to me. And the reason, and that's kind of twofold, because number one is that I've helped someone to change their lives, and I'm excited for them of where they're going. And I've been at this long enough that it's almost like I kind of have a crystal ball and I can see what's ahead of them. So it's the excitement for me, because it's like I'm excited for their win in the moment, but I can see what's coming. And so I'm excited for them for that. Mm. But also, for me, getting into coaching, for me, it was like I still loved helping people, still loved therapy, but I realized, you know what? In leaving being a physical therapist, I'm not leaving being a physical therapist. I'm still helping patients. I'm helping more patients than I could ever touch myself. And I'm helping them by helping clinicians to really be able to go at it with passion, and helping them to be able to serve selflessly. So now the public, they are getting hopefully better care.
Right.
And hopefully ultimately we're maybe even changing healthcare.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That all happens because I have a business that allows me to work in my giftedness and work towards my personal legacy of how I help other people. And then when I see that showing up for other people, that's what's so rewarding right there.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing is the ripple effect. So I get what you're saying, that even though you're not physically a clinician, you are multiplying your effect through the people, through the clinicians that you're training to become better, the best version of themselves, so that the public can get quality care than the crappy health care that we have here in the US. So because it's for me, from a third world country, coming here to the US, I had lots of expectation about healthcare, but being here for more than a decade, it's just getting worse. And so that's why I was telling you before we recorded that I am so excited that the Christians are rising up, to the business, because, we are called to be the best person that we could be, to serve. And as you said, to love people. We are not perfect in any way, shape, or form. But, being a clinician, you want to treat, my principle as a clinician is I want to treat my patients like my own parents or my own grandparents, so that I give the best care that I could with the time I have for them. So that is awesome thing that you are able to do that, your giftedness, you're operating in your giftedness, and then at the same time, you're helping other people. I think that is as you said, the greatest reward that you can have in this lifetime.
Absolutely. Awesome. Jing, with that, it's, we help people to, I help people, Kevin, Josh, myself, we help people to grow businesses, but it's not the messages that I get of hey, I sold my first 12 visit package. I mean, that's great. Don't get me wrong. It's when I get that message of, hey, I needed a day off. I took today off and my clients said, good for you. Or I needed to take care of the family today, and I had the ability to go take care of my family. or I had the ability to go to my child's, after school play. I was able to do that, and so now in life, I'm being fulfilled because of what I've been able to create that allows me to have a fulfilled life. That's what I love hearing from people. That's what's exciting for me. Yeah, it's great when people, hey, I made, this much money. That's awesome. But again, it's those things that we take for granted or that we forget about. But is it really about making tons of money, or is it about quality of life? And when I can see that people are creating that quality of life that they're seeking, because pretty much, everybody would like a quality of life. That I love.
So that's the heart. That is awesome. If I am, I am not in that business of, practicing with the clients. My business right now is helping foreign educated physical therapists. But if I am going to venture in that avenue, I would find someone like you. The one that attracted me to my business coach, GT, is his principle, his heart for serving. So I like your heart about your principle. The money is secondary, but the quality of life is primarily. So maybe that's why you name your business Uncaged Clinician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. Uncaged. We have, helping people to become, and uncaged is in a number of ways, breaking free from the expectations of the norm. Okay. What society expects of us. Okay. Conforming to what is the norm, breaking free from that. It can be uncaged with, as you've mentioned, alluded to a couple of times, of like Christians rising. All right. Having the courage, the confidence to do that in whatever element of your life, having the courage to push those boundaries, to see what's out there. That's really about becoming uncaged. In fact, we like to say, what is an uncaged clinician? We like to say it's someone that has the courage to blaze a new path. They're committed to a higher level of standard, and they have the confidence to pursue success. A lot of people think they're afraid of failure, but actually what it is a lot of times is they don't have the confidence to pursue success. So in all elements of your life, do you have the courage to blaze a new path? Are you committed to a higher standard? Do you have the confidence to pursue success? That's kind of like what Uncaged is. Our pillars of what we do and why we do it. They're based on love, serve, care, and leading others to do the same. So we have our pillars of that: love, serve, care, lead.
Oh, that is awesome.
But what is that uncaged? It's courage, committed confidence.
I love that. Yeah, because I think, in our life, we just need at least one person who believes in us. And, for you to have that spark that, hey, yeah, he believes in me and I can do this. I remember I have one favorite teacher in college that he believed in me. I don't know why. He believed in me regardless. And that really inspired me to be better, at what I do and believe in myself. So I really appreciate that, that you have that pillar of serving and loving and, believing in yourself. That is awesome. So if someone is watching right now, and they want to thinking, is this for me? Because I believe that if it sparks interest in you and you have that desire, that is mostly for you. And just like what you said, do you have the confidence to pursue success? So what is one life lesson or one message that you can give to inspire those people who are watching right now and wanting to have a better quality of life, breaking free from 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job, more quality of life for themselves and for their family? What would be your message for them?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, if you know that there is something that you want for yourself, can you find that person or that group who is doing that and has done it? And can you surround yourself with those people or those types of people? If there's something that you want to achieve, surrounding yourself with other people who are wanting to achieve something similar. Okay, like-minded people. Now, yes, we could all get into the debate of like, hey, different trains of thought are great, blah blah blah. But if you're trying to achieve something, surrounding yourself with what we would call, my business partner Josh likes to call it, your success council.
Mm-hmm.
Who are those people, like what you said, Jing? Who are those people who are going to believe in you, going to lift you up? And those people that, like, if you're doubting yourself, they're going to be the ones to say, hey, dude, you can do better than this. Because I see it in you. You can do better than this. Can you surround yourself with a success council who can walk in front of you to lead you, who can stand beside you to guide you, and who can walk behind you to either help you not fall down or give you a kick in the rear if you need a kick in the rear? And not giving in or having discernment of advice that you get. So what I mean by that, and I know you understand this, Jing, is the naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that you want to achieve, there are going to be plenty of people who are going to try to bring you down, going to doubt you, think that you're crazy. And so don't get wrapped up into believing in that, okay, and listening to that. Unfortunately, sometimes the loudest naysayers might be in your deep inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it's hard. Despite that, can you find that success council? And then in doing so, you monitor what you share with the people that you're not going to get that support from them. You don't necessarily cut them off, but you monitor what are you sharing, because you don't need that negative energy.
Right.
You need that support, that positive energy, and that guidance. So that's the number one thing, is can you find that success council to surround yourself with, of people who are like, hey, we're going, like, for example, if you're in the Philippines and we're going to the States, okay, who else is going to the States? Because I'm going with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it's the people that like, hey, we ain't going to the States. No, we got to go to Malaysia. We got to go to New Zealand. We got to go to China. We got to go over here. Well, if that ain't where you're going, don't be in that group.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right. That's awesome. Because I received this advice that you don't take advice for someone who never done it. Yeah.
Right,
There's so many people saying, no, don't do that. It's very risky. And, but have they done it? And most of them are not. Most of them are just expressing their fear. So I love what you said about surrounding yourself with, like-minded people, the winners. If you want to win, you have to surround yourself with winners, and I truly believe if there's a spark in your heart to pursue something great, more than what you have right now, then you have to run with it. And just like what you said a few minutes ago, is take a leap of faith. Because that desire, I believe, comes from God. When I was depressed in the Philippines and I couldn't sleep, I had insomnia. It's a clinical depression. I was in medication. My church helped me. My friends from church helped me. And I remember one time the pastor was asking, Jing, what if there's no America in your life? And I was like, oh no, screaming out loud. But also in that part, I remember there's a flickering hope that someday it will happen. Flickering in the middle of the darkness. I cannot explain it, but I still believe in those dark times that I will make it one day, one day. And it did, It happened. So through God's grace, it happened. So that's what I am trying to drive the point is, if you have the desire, just like Captain was saying, to have something better for your life, for your quality of your own life and for the quality of your family's life, something bigger in the future, for you to have more control of your time and spend more time with your family, I think that is a sign for you to pursue greatness, to pursue success, and find ways, a lot of people that will support you along the way. So that is awesome. I love the message that you are sending. I love the principle of your company. because I only like want my guests here on the channel to be inspiring, but also have a great principle in life, because
Right.
we can find business all over Google, but we don't know who's operating it and what
Mhm.
are their principles in operating their business. So I am really blessed to have you in the show. Okay,
Well, thank
so as a last part, if they want to contact you, if they watch this and they're interested
you.
in
Mhm.
talking to you, how can they reach you?
Yeah, the easiest way is if they're on Facebook, they can just find me through Facebook. They can send me a DM in Facebook. That's probably the easiest way. If they want to send me an email, they can send it to david@uncagedclinician.com, or again through Facebook Messenger. Either way is perfect.
Yep. All
I'm
right.
always happy to answer a question.
That is true, because when I was still lost in figuring out what I should do with my business, I really considered signing up with your coaching. But I was like in the middle of, I did another business and it did not work, and trying to figure out who I am and what I want to do. And and right now I'm serving the foreign educated physical therapist, but
Yep.
definitely I highly recommend this Uncaged Clinician, Mr. David Bayliff, and his team, because of the principles that they have about serving, loving people, and inspiring you to succeed in your life. So, Mr. David, any last words for our viewers before we end?
Yeah, Gene, just main thing is, dream big. Dream big, because the bigger you dream, the bigger your results are going to be. If you dream small, we oftentimes we tend to not quite get to the mountaintop. So if you dream small, your results are going to be even smaller. So don't be afraid to dream big. It's okay to dream big.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you, Gene.
So I'm hoping that, in the future we can do another one. If you have, if you want to
Oh,
promote or you have a big event, I can also promote that in the channel. So thank
absolutely.
you
We'd love
so
that.
much for your time, Mr. David Captain. So thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for watching. I hope that you learned something new today. I'm bringing you resources. So once you get here to the US, you know the people to go to, the great people to go to if you need help with whatever you need. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, stay blessed. Thank you, Mr. David.
Thank you.